Hi guys, I'm Julia and I'm a really good friend of Miss Greta's. I am a guest reader and I'm really excited to be able to read this book with you this week. So we're going to be reading from this story called Just So Stories for Little Children, and it has a lot of little books inside of it that are really good, and I'm really excited to read this one with you. So the one we're going to be reading here is called How the Whale Got His Throat. In the sea, once upon a time, oh my best beloved, there was a whale, and he ate fishes. He ate the starfish and the garfish, and the crab and the dab, and the plaice and the dace, and the skate and his mate, and the mackerel and the pickerel, and the really, truly, twirly, whirly eel. All the fishes he could find in all the sea he ate with his mouth, just like this. Till at last there was only one small fish left in all the sea, and he was a small 'stute fish, and he swam a little behind the whale's right ear, just as to be out of harm's way. Then the whale stood up on his tail and said, "I'm hungry." And the small 'stute fish said in a small 'stute voice, "Noble and generous Cetacean, have you ever tasted man?" "No," said the whale. "What's it like?" "Nice," said the small 'stute fish, "nice but nubbly." "Then fetch me some," said the whale, and he made the sea froth up with his tail. "One at a time is enough," said the 'stute fish. "If you swim to latitude 50 north, longitude 40 west, that is magic, you will find sitting on a raft in the middle of the sea, with nothing on but a pair of blue canvas breeches, a pair of suspenders, you must not forget the suspenders, best beloved, and a jackknife, one shipwrecked mariner, who, it is only fair to tell you, is a man of the infinite resource and sagacity." So the whale swam and swam till latitude 50 north, longitude 40 west, as fast as he could swim, and on a raft in the middle of the sea, with nothing to wear except a pair of blue canvas breeches, a pair of suspenders, you must particularly remember the suspenders, best beloved, and a jackknife, he found one single solitary shipwrecked mariner, trailing his toes in the water. He had his mummy's leave to paddle, or else he would never have done it, because he was a man of infinite resource and sagacity. Then the whale opened his mouth back and back and back, till it nearly touched his tail, and he swallowed the shipwrecked mariner, and the raft he was sitting on, and his blue canvas breeches, and the suspenders, which you must not forget, and the jackknife. He swallowed them all the way down into his warm, dark, inside cupboards, and then smacked his lips, and turned round 3 times on his tail. But as soon as the mariner, who was a man of infinite resource and sagacity, found himself truly inside the whale's warm, dark, inside cupboards, he stumped and he jumped, and he thumped and he bumped, and he pranced and he danced, and he banged and he clanged, and he hit and he bit, and he leapt and he creeped, and he prowled and he howled, and he hopped and he dropped, and he cried and he sighed, and he crawled and he bawled, and he stepped and he leapt, and he danced hornpipes where he shouldn't, and the whale felt most unhappy indeed. Have you forgotten the suspenders? Because we shouldn't have. So he said to the 'stute fish, "This man is very nubbly, and besides, he is making me hiccup. What should I do?" "Tell him to come out," said the 'stute fish. So the whale called down his own throat to the shipwrecked mariner, "Come out and behave yourself. I've got the hiccups." "Nay, nay," said the mariner, "not so, but far otherwise. Take me to the natal shore and the white cliffs of Albion, and I'll think about it." And he began to dance more than ever. "You had better take him home," said the 'stute fish to the whale. "I ought to have warned you that he's a man of infinite resource and sagacity." So the whale swam and swam, with both his flippers and a tail, as hard as he could, for the hiccups, and at last he saw the mariner's natal shore and the white cliffs of Albion. He rushed halfway up the beach and opened his mouth wide and wide and wide and said, "Change here for Winchester, Ashlog, Nassau, Keene, and stations on the Fitchburg Road." And just as he said Fitch, the mariner walked out of his mouth. But while the whale had been swimming, the mariner, who was indeed a person of infinite resource and sagacity, had taken his jackknife, and cut up the raft into tiny little grating and all running crisscross, and had tied it firm with his suspenders. Now you know why we were not supposed to forget the suspenders. And he dragged the grating good and tight into the whale's throat, and there it was stuck. Then he recited the following sloka, which, if you have not heard it, I will now say it. "By means of a grating, I have stopped your aiding." For the mariner, he was also a Hibernian, and he stepped out on the shingle and went home to his mother, who had given him leave to trail his toes in the water, and he married and lived happily ever on afterwards. So did the whale. But from that day on, the grating in his throat, which he could neither cough up nor swallow down, prevented him from eating anything except very, very small fish. And that is the reason why whales nowadays never eat men or boys or little girls. The small suit fish went and hid himself in the mud underneath the door sills of the equator. He was afraid that the whale might be angry with him. The sailor took the jackknife home. He was wearing the blue canvas breeches when he walked out on the shingle. The suspenders were left behind, you see, to tie that grating with. And that is the end of that tale. So I thought that was a really good story, and I really loved how the author was able to use so many words to really give us a good picture of what was going on. For example, how he used so many words to describe what kinds of fish the whale was eating, and how he used so many words to describe how the sailor was able to get out of the whale's stomach by running back and forth all over the whale's belly. I want to know from you guys if you guys have ever seen a whale. If you've seen a whale maybe at the zoo or maybe on vacation with your family, let us know. I would love to hear all about if you've seen big whales or smaller whales, and yeah, if you were scared of the whales maybe, because I also want to know what you guys think. Do you think that the sailor was scared of the whale when he was inside of its stomach? So yeah, these are great things to think about. And yeah, thank you.